G'day guys, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well on this long weekend, on Easter weekend. It's now Monday, the last day of our public holidays. Feeling a bit down, but oh well, we've got to get back to work at some stage, don't we? But anyway, hope you're enjoying your Easter break. But today we're going to be looking at how to install the red lights on the back of Formula Ones. I've had a request, and I'm more than happy to show how I've done this. And I'm hoping doing a bit of step by step that this is mostly helpful to you if you plan on doing this to a couple of Formula Ones yourself. But what I'm going to show you is the gearbox of a McLaren, which is powered by Honda, and also a Lotus powered by Ford engine. So two different gearboxes there that are slightly different. They're not the same design, if I could put it that way. So installing the light would be a little bit different. As I'm going to show you the Honda gearbox for the McLaren was very simple to do because it was pretty much like just one box, and then the lid goes on, and then you it's all enclosed. As whereas the Lotus Ford gearbox is, I only had enough room for the resistor, and I had to figure out some other way of how I could manipulate the where to put the light. So that was a bit tricky, but got through it in the end. And the Lotus one, I did do a video on the Lotus one a while ago. I might have been could have been a year ago or something like that. But there is a bit more on that if you want to go and see that. But I didn't show the actual underneath and how I threaded the wires through for the connection for the batteries. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll have a look at what parts we need first. As in the light, we need a resistor and the battery power packs. So they're the only three things that you do need. And sort of like for a bit of security, I sort of like welded the soldered the resistor to the light, just to have that good solid connection to it. So I'll show you what you need. Now this here is our power pack that we need. Now I'm only using this at the moment until I get all my Formula Ones done, and I can no longer buy any more Formula Ones because they are harder to get now. I will be going off the power battery and going to USB, putting it all on USB, because the reason why is I've got this platform that I'm going to make, and think of sort of like going back to sort of like slot cars, where you've got the underneath of the car, you got your negative and positive, if I can say in an instance, you've got your two, your negative and your positives coming out at the bottom of the car, and it just sits on the track of the power of the negative and positive. So that's the way I'm thinking. So that way I've got continuous power all the time. I can leave it on for hours and hours if I wanted to. And with the battery power pack, this only lasts for about an hour. And believe me, if you've got a lot of Formula Ones you want to do, it's not going to be, let's just say you're going to have shares in the industry of batteries, put it that way, or you're going to be buying a lot of rechargeable batteries and constantly changing batteries forever in the day. You soon get sick of it. But this is only just to show you guys basically how the light works. So that's the reason why I've gone to this, but I will be having two sort of like, if I could say, like two plates, which are going to be a negative and a positive, and my wires that would come out through the bottom of my Formula One, which is the positive and negative wires, and then I'll just sit it on the two plates, and then a USB cord will run underneath it. You won't see the cord at all, and that way it looks a lot more neater, and also you don't have to worry about battery packs. But on the battery pack, so this type of stuff, you can go to your local what's the word I'm thinking of, power store, where you buy here in Australia I go to a place called Middies. So they have all these little lights and stuff like that, so you can go to your local electric store and get all this. So this is, I'll show that right there, and I'll get that in a focus if I can. So there we go there, if I can make that out. And I might want, what I might do is put a thing down below, a link down below of the actual number of this. So that's your battery power pack for that. So there's that. I'll leave that battery power pack out because we'll probably use that to show you. Then what we've got in here, these our you can buy a pack of these. These are our resistors. So that's, I'll take them out so you can see. So they're our resistors. You only need one per light. So you buy a pack of them, you got plenty of them. So that's our resistors, and that is the number. I hope you can see that, but like I said, I'll put a link down below so you know when you go into the store to get all this, you tell them the number and they should be able to correspond with those numbers and get the resistors and lights. So there's that. Now, then finally what we've got is our actual main light, which I'll take that out. How did I get that out in the first place? Oh, there we go. So you can buy a pack of these lights, which come about how many? 20. So I brought 20 of these. So now what we're going to do is show you guys. So this is our red light. This is what's going to flick on and off. So that's our red light. And the way to tell your negative to your positive is, if you could see, I'm going to slowly turn that. If you see right there, see how one is slightly longer than the other? The longest one is your positive. That's your positive line. To the shorter one, which is your negative, which is your black one. So red is the longer one, which is positive, and the shorter one is the black, which is negative. So that's the way you tell there. Now, when so they're the only things that you are going to need to power this up, to get it going. The only thing is, when I put the resistor on the light, the resistor gets hot. So make sure when you install it into your model that you don't lean it up against any plastic, because it does get very hot and could burn through the plastic. So just be aware of that, because that's what the resistor does. It takes the heat so you don't blow the globe. Another thing is too, when I connect the resistor onto the light, I just solder it on just for a more better connection, but don't have your solder either set, I don't know what type of soldering system you got. I've got one that you can dial it to how hot you want it, and don't have it on the soldering it for too long, because that heat is going to transfer to the globe and could blow the globe. Or you set your soldering at a sort of like a comfortable setting where it's just going to just mount it onto the resistor to the light, and or you just do it as, how can I say it, quickly as possible, so you don't give time for that light to heat up. So if I can give a word of advice on that, but let's see, and we'll probably go to the bench on this, I reckon. But what we'll do is I'll show you. Show you the reason why the Lotus one, Ford one gearbox, I couldn't box in all the light and the resistor in the one section, and it's because if we go here, I'm highlighting now, I might grab my thing here. Now if we go, what have we got? We're looking at the diff cooler, so that bit there, we're looking at that bit there. Now I couldn't, as you look into the actual gearbox there, I couldn't actually, that's the reason why I couldn't install the all the light and the resistor in the one place, because that diff cooler was just going to be in the way. So I managed to only put the resistor in here and the light was on the outside. But I'll show you what I did there to blacken out the light, so it makes it look like you don't see this great big light, if I could say. So that's that there, as well as the McLaren Honda engine. As we can see, where am I going? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong page here. I think I am looking at the wrong page. Hang on a tick, we'll get there. Thought I had it here for a tick. Oh yes, here we go, just on the wrong page. As you can see here, that right there was plenty of room to install the light and the resistor in the gearbox itself. And then what you do after that is, when I turn the page over here, you've got this top piece here, which encloses all the light. So that's to vision it that way. So let's go to the bench, show you how it's done. Okay guys, at the bench here, as you can see, I've got the Lotus pulled apart to the McLaren, and I do apologize for that little bit of flickering there, but that's caused by an interference with the lights. I mean, if I go to turn this off, I think one of them off, that would no, it's not that one, I think it's the other one. Yeah, if I turn that off there, it'll stop that little bit of flickering, but we're going to need as much light as possible for this so I can show you the areas because they are black. First of all, oh, I don't know why I put that there. I'm working on this one for a customer. So this is a customer's one, the Ferrari, I think it's 2002 model. Just to show you that a bit first, I guess. This particular model is gonna have everything in it. As you can see, it's got the seat belts in it, which I've had to leave unbuckled because the customer does have the Michael Schumacher body model that he's going to put in this, so he needs the buckles to be not clipped in. Also, this is the steering wheel can come out of this. This has got the full upgrades on this, and I'm not too sure full upgrades on a Formula One is something that I would like doing personally myself. Personally, I mean, this customer's paid $140 just for the upgrades, all the upgrades, and quite frankly, you don't see much of it unless what he is doing, he's what can I say, he's going to have it pretty much wanted pulled apart. The reason why I'm doing it for him, he doesn't like doing carbon fiber, and he finds the upgrades too fiddly, so that's the reason why he's passed it off on to me. So yeah, so that steering wheel can come out. That's as you can see there, that's part of all the upgrades, all the wires and everything like that, coolant cords and stuff like that are in there. And then we got the upgrades of the sides here, and he wanted all this carbon fibered, and he wants me to do this as close as possible to the actual car. So a lot of work involved in this, but I just thought I'd show you that bit of what the upgrade stuff looks like. Bit of a nightmare, but I'll get it done. But I'll put that to the side, and let's get back to what we were meant to be talking about. Sorry. So we have the Lotus Ford engine here. Now I'm going to shift this up, and hopefully you can see that right there. In there is our light, our red light. Now, if I can go back and grab the light, as you can see with the red light, what I had to do, and hopefully I'll put this to the other side, so hopefully you can see this light in its entirety there. And there you go, there's the red light there. So what I had to do with this one, because I couldn't put this in the gearbox as I was saying before, and I only had to put the resistor in, is I had to grab, because I didn't want all this light to expose. It would have looked very weird. So what I did was I grabbed some heat shrink and heat shrink the light on. Put the heat shrink on the light, heated it up, so close it off, so it only shows the tip instead of it being all exposed. Now, okay, now as we turn this over, as you can see, we've got our positive there and our negative there. That's because I had to drill a couple of holes in the chassis to feed the light through those there. So that's what I had to do there to feed it through. I got a little bit of painting to do here, painted in black a little bit, but and then feed the cords through. So like I was saying before, when I'm going to be finished all my Formula Ones, and I'm going to put all these onto USB, and I've got my two say for instance, these are my two negative and positive plates. So when I set the car on and it's touching the negative and positive plates through the USB, it's going to come on in an instant and not have to worry about batteries at all. So that's that there. But there is a little bit on this when I was building this. Yeah, just to and then what you do is once you got it in, you put your positive plate on like that, and same with your negative on the opposite side, and then you're good to go. Now, so that's that way. As well as we go to the Honda gearbox. Now, as you can see, I had no problems with this one at all. It's all in there. The resistor and light, so it's all in there. So it's going to pop out. The light is going to pop out in between the holders for the rear wing. So it's going to pop out in between there, the light. So as we flip it over there, I'm hoping, and you really cannot see that light in there. It's so boxed in very, very well. But the light is in there. I'm just wondering if I can demonstrate. Hang on a tick. And then the two negative and positives come out through the bottom of this. So you got to drill 2 holes in it to feed it through the gearbox, feed it through the chassis. And what I did was, so as I knew which was my positive to negative, is I just did a little bit of, grabbed a little bit of red paint and just a dot underneath there, so I know that that side is my positive. So what I'll do is so you can see it, I'll just do that. And it's a little bit fidgety doing it this way. This is the reason why I'm going to be glad to go to USB. And as you can see, oh, there we go. As you can see, there, here we go. We've got our angle on it wrong. Our light popping out through there. So that's how that works. So they're the 2 different types of ways that the gearboxes are and how you can mimic. If hopefully most of the models that I do are like the Honda gearbox where I can put it all in as one, but this one I had to put the resistor in here and light out there and do the heat shrink the light, so I'm only showing the tip of it. So what we'll do is, now I'll grab our resistor here. So this is our resistor here, and I'll light here. So what we're going to do is, once I drill the holes through the floor plan, and so like I'm going to separate these a little bit, because once this is in, you can't have the positive and negative touching each other, because it just won't work. But the resistor, you can cut this to any length you want, like, because it's a bit too long. So what I'll do first, say for instance, I'm just imagining I'm going to put this through the getting it prepared through the gearbox. So what I'm going to do is turn that around there. I mean, if you don't have a soldering iron, you could easily just do this. But I just like that security of it making good contact. So what I'm going to do is you can see I've left a little bit of room there. I haven't put the resistor close to that, because what's going to have to happen is, and I'm going on the theme of the Honda gearbox, is leave it, going off course here, is to And that's what I mean. You don't have to have this as, you don't have to have all this. You can cut it off, and it doesn't matter what which way you put the resist on the actual light, because it's just a resistor. So therefore, I've done that. Now what I've got to do is, then I would solder that, turn that a little bit like so, the resistor. So the resistor stays away from the light, in like that. So you imagine this is, you're about to prepare to put this into your gearbox. So that is the way you do that. And make sure your resistor is not touching any plastic at all. So I wish I had some sort of like square box to resemble a engine, a gearbox. Wish I had that, but that's the way you do that. So, and that's the less of the resistor wire you have, probably the better, because you need to feed this through your floor plan of your chassis. And then what I do is, once it's through the floor plan of the chassis, is I slightly bend these so I can hook my power pack. And it does look a little bit ugly, but it once it's all boxed in and everything like that, it's pretty good. So imagine that is now through our floor plan, our chassis. I'll just call it chassis. So imagine that is through our chassis. So therefore we've got our negative and positives underneath our chassis, and then we grabbing our battery pack, and then we putting on our positive to negative. It just came off, but you'll get the gist. So once that is on, and then you can turn the light on, and you should be good to go in that way. And that way, all you're going to be seeing is the tip of the light. That's it. But if you're doing a bigger scale model, rather than, I think, what are these, 120 scale, I think. If you're doing a 112 scale, for instance, like they're starting to come out with a lot of 112 scale models of the Formula Ones, I'm just going to pull this off now, and I hope this helps. It gives you better look at it. But if you're going to do a 112 scale, you're probably going to need to make these longer. And this is where you probably will need a soldering iron to solder negative and positive to make this longer, so you can pass it through the gearbox, through the chassis. So that's what you're probably going to have to do there. But we'll go back to me, and I hope this helps. I really do. But yeah, we'll go back to me. So there we go. It looks good in the end, and it's not all that hard to do. You just got to remember how you can mimic on how to put the actual light in, to where you got enough room to have it all enclosed in the one gearbox area. But if not, like I said, that's where the heat shrink comes into play, where if you've got to have the light out of the gearbox, then you can easily put heat shrink around it. And I mean, I'm going to pick up this now, and virtually you're looking at a long distance, and you can't even see, you can only see the tip of the light, because all the other around the light is black, so it blends in well. So that's a little bit of a trick, but like I said, I am going, all my models, Formula One models, are going to be connected to USB once I've got them all finished. I mean, I've got, I think about 15 to 20 more to go, I think, to do my completion. But like I said, Formula Ones now, particularly here in Australia, are getting harder to get because of all the sponsors apparently want their they want their a big lot amount of money, as sponsors always do, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it for how to install your lights. I hope I didn't rave on too much, but yeah, that's all we got for that one. So thank you for watching, and yeah, hopefully stay tuned for more things, I guess. Thank you.